It is I, the Juice Man, 3941, coming back to you with episode 84 here on season 3. I want to talk about something real quick though. Apparently, when I've been doing my titles on the stuff, it was still saying season 2. So if you're on YouTube, a lot of this is actually season 3 and not season 2, and I just now actually noticed it. Again, I'm still kind of new to the whole thing, so that was a problem there. But moving on. This is episode 84. This is called Titanquest. It is THQ Nordic who helped publish this game, and this is a Diablo style action RPG that came out way back in 2006 on the PC, which is right around the time I believe Diablo 2 came out. And this game is old, but it has been remastered in 2016, and now it is on the on PS4 and I believe Xbox One. This is Leonidas from the Spartans, which is pretty cool. You start out in Greek, and apparently I've also read that you end up going to Egypt, and Chinese and other mythologies are explored. It deals with like the gods and the Titans coming back and a prophecy. The story is, in some ways, I wouldn't say forgettable, but it takes a while to flesh out. You can zoom in on your character. You do not have the full camera control. It's like a classic style RPG. I can zoom way out, and I can zoom like all the way in, which is very similar to how Sacred 2 is. It's incredibly difficult to play the game like this zoomed out, and I don't recommend it because it's great to, I guess, in some ways, if you want to talk to people. I usually zoom out to about right here. This is pretty much good where you can still see your character, and I'm just like fighting creatures now. Um, one of the reviews I read on this said that you can't really control the direction you're aiming, who you want to fight. If you hit, you attack, but you can. But you got to hold the stick down, which changes your direction. This person on the review had said, well, you can't. You just, if you want it, you can't really pick who you'd like to attack. It's not true. As long as you hold the stick down, you will change the direction of your attack. Much like Diablo 2, when you pause the game, this is your inventory space down below there. You do have limited inventory space. I'm assuming that it will increase. I don't know. I hope that it does, because you run out of room real quick. Everything is modeled, so if you put something new on your character, you can. Another thing that's interesting is the fact that you do have you can use a secondary weapon set, so you can, if you want to use a bow and arrow. It's very similar to how Vikings has that. Vikings has that secondary weapon set, which I thought was cool, and I thought that was the first time I'd seen an action RPG with that concept. But this came out in '06, so apparently no. This might have been one of the first users of it, and there might be an RPG before that that does it. You do have regenerative health. Um, that's one of my skills. It does a lot of damage. I'm using the spear, and you don't really start out with a class. So it is, again, a very old school RPG. I love when you go through the woods there and they animate, like see how they animate the reeds and stuff there. Your weapon set and what skills you devote to determines your class. My class is considered a hunter, so that's where I'm going with. This is Andrastia. This is the character I made. I used a Greek name. You see, I can, again, switch targets here however I want to do it. I'm just fighting crows and stuff. And I'm currently level 5. You do have, I said, you do have regenerative health. Your health actually will slowly increase. Another thing that you need to know is when you are using your character and you gain a level, you have to have attributes. You'll get points towards it. Even your health and mana have to be given points in order for it to increase. So unlike a traditional roleplay game or action RPG where you gain a level and your health goes up with that, it doesn't. You have to actually assign attributes with it. But even adding 1 point to it gave me like 40 additional points. So it was like, oh, it's a pretty big like boost, and I think that's great to see that. So yes, you can make your character. So you have a lot of control. If you go to your skills, there is a blue million different skills. You can hide the toolbars here. You've got hunting. This is your hunting mastery. You can go, which is what I'm using. Sorry, I'm yawning there a little bit. Let's see here. There's other. I guess sometimes it's hard that these don't want to go where I want them to go. There's your portal stone, and you can create a portal, go back in town. You get that early on. Here's your quest window, which you can read like this is your quest, what you need to do, if you have any side quests, and whatnot. Uh, that and if you put that in there, it will make it a little easier to read. If you're way far back, it makes it a hair smaller. Um, I'm trying to get to skills because I'm trying to see. It says I have 6 unused skill points, which is great. But I know that there is other skills, but it won't let me like. There's way to select. There's you got a bunch on a different screen, but I can't seem to get it to go to the other skills. I don't know why, but it just won't. But I have to add to the rank over here where you see 1 4 10. In order to use these skills, I have to rank up and increase that too. So um, this is Master of Bow, Spear Combat, Piercing Attacks. So I'm playing, I said, the Hunter type, but for some reason, the game is not letting me like go back to the other like page that shows you all your skills, including magic. It just for some reason it was not letting me do that. Um, I can increase my skills doing that, or hit undo, but it won't. It won't let me actually um, go up to because you have an actually whole nother skill page that goes where you have other like trees that you can select besides this one, but for some reason it's not really letting me. I'm seeing an R1 and L1, and it's just not and it's not letting me select anything. So in order for me to like use this skill, which is a barb knitting, I gotta get that up to level 4, or if I want to use that call of the hunt, which is those who answer the call of the hunt will be fight with increased speed and cunning. So you do have a lot of control over your character. The only thing that I can't seem to figure out uh, is the is I don't know. It just won't. Let's see. Wield them with exceptional speed and precision. So if I want to put a skill point in that, I can. I can put 2 skill points to make that current level where it's at. So that's just a passive skill. So we close that off. But it's kind of nice, like I said, to it's kind of nice that you have that range of skill. What I again can't seem to figure out though is the fact that that I can't access those other skills. I know they're there. I know for a fact they're there because I've seen them like earlier, but it won't let me. Even though you see an L1 and R1 up there, like you can switch between, like you should be able to switch between stuff, but for some reason you can't. I'm gonna get rid of this boar real quick. I also have a net I can throw out, which is cool. That free like locks on ammo. There's a centaur. They've got all these different creatures from Mythos, Satyr, Centaur, all the Greek stuff's in here, but also Chinese and Egyptian, which I've also read about. But it's still way early in the game. Titanquest is $29.99 on the at the local GameStops and your PSN network. If you are a fan of the old school style, I think that's who I have to fight is this guy, and 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 it sucks. He is like basically killing me dead, and I've got to run because there's no way I can like fight him. And a lot of them have regenerative properties, so definitely can't be dealing with that guy. A lot of the creatures are tough off the early end. I gotta kill these crows though here. There we go. And deal with them. Now, if I go to, I'm going to exit the main menu real quick because I want to show you this. So I want to show you a little bit about the creative player and what you can and cannot do. Again, you don't have a class. So let's say I don't want to use her anymore and delete her. I will have to start and create a character. So they give you a name to use, but I can use like, Perseus, for example. And I can make him any male and then your tunic color. So if I want to make it gray, I hit create. It's about all you can do. Like you don't have a whole lot of control over your character's looks and all that other stuff. So that's just kind of like what happens. It starts off on normal difficulty. So, and this is what happens when you start a new game.
One day,
And this
the sun will
basically
dim
part tells you
and
about
spread
the
a
story. It's a
shadow.
prophecy. I'm gonna skip past that since I read it. And it's awful loud, even though I've got the main volume turned down so y'all can hear me talk. And you start off here. And again, that's your map window, your character window. You do have tooltips, and you can disable them if you want, if you don't wish to. Quest characters, it tells you again, simple stuff. Now, he's going to talk, but you can't scroll through his text. You almost got to listen to him and see what he says. You can walk away and it disappears, or you can close it, either how you would want to do it. So he basically tells you a little about what's going on the farm, and then you can talk to this guy who's going to give you a quest, which he wants you to fight these creatures here. So you're going to fight these guys. Horse is actually going to help you a little bit. No big deal there. And again, the game is is basically your basic RPG, action RPG, and it did come out, right around that, Diablo 2 thing. So, but there was people who actually liked this game better than that, which kind of crazy to me because I love Diablo 2 and I'd never even heard of this game. And that's probably why, because there you go. But I will say this though, it is an old school style action RPG, and if you are used to playing something like Diablo 3, which is one of the best ones that's out there, you will notice that this game sometimes hangs up on stuff. I've noticed, like sometimes you'll go to pick something up or something happens and your character will just freeze for a split second. Sometimes as long as 2 seconds. And I love that animation on the grass there. I think that's a nice little touch. And again, you can zoom way out, and the resolution wise, it looks really good, zoomed in or out. Like it's a nice little thing there. It's weird though because other games like Victor Van and stuff actually have better movement and things that has basically happened over the time. And these are your guys here. You can talk to him. And I just feel like that if you are a fan of those type of games, and I love not just action RPGs, but I love Diablo style loot fest or action RPGs. They're one of my favorite genres. And I have almost pretty much all of them. I literally got all of them. I've got the Damascus Gears, which is like a mech style Diablo style games. I got both of those games that are on the PS4. I've got those two games. I've got both Avengers of Van Helsing 1 and 2. They're excellent games. I've got Victor Van and all of its expansions, and I've got Diablo 3, and now I've got Titanquest because I love these type of games. They're just great, fun loot fest action RPGs are just a blast to play. Not everyone though is going to like this game. Not everyone is going to put this in or buy it. But for $30, you're getting a lot. And not only you're getting just the base game. This game also had an expansion that was very extensive. But when you bought the expansion, you had to play it like you had to load in the expansion. So you picked either the main game or the expansion. This game takes the expansion and puts it as part of the main game, so you get all the expansion stuff, and all the expansion stuff like with it, and that's kind of nice. I will say the geography of the game and the land is really neat. I really like sometimes when you're going across a cliffside and you see stuff down below and things like that, and it's got a very nice soft touch to it. I will give Titan Quest like for being a basic remastered, which was an anniversary edition, came out in 2016 on the PC. For them to a couple of years later put it out on PS4, I found it really interesting because THQ Nordic, is being a small publisher as it is, are really like putting out a lot of cool and niche titles, and I love niche titles, and I love this game. I think Titan Quest is excellent. And totally worth your time, in all honesty. I really like the game. So here's a crude spear I can switch to. Does 11 to 20 versus 4 to 8. I'm going to switch to it. So I'm going to use the spear instead. I can go here. I can sell stuff, you know, sell what I already have. I'd like to, honestly, I would like to use a club or a sword, but right now all we got is these bronze daggers and stuff like that. Um, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this and fight these guys. I'm just kind of showing you a little bit of the gameplay. That's all. Like, see this creature here? This is a glitch. Look, they already killed him, but he didn't fall. So the game does have some bugs, um, which is to be expected, I think. Just because, all games have some bugs, especially a game this old. Um, and it's, again, probably the company that made it is no longer in business. It would not surprise me. Here, I'm going to draw this guy over here, and these two soldiers will attack this for me, and will make it a lot easier because that ravenous board, these early creatures are difficult to deal with. And there you go, but I can fight them and get what I need out of that. Sometimes you will inadvertently hit the camera button because you can't really lock it, and you're just kind of stuck like in the camera, and you're just like, I mean, I've been just, you want to move it around and you can't, you'll just accidentally knock it up or down, and so that kind of sucks in that regard, but it's not too bad. I do like the fact you have regenerative health, because having regenerative health is nice because it might take a minute for it to regenerate fully. At least it's there. And you can take a moment to break away from combat if you run out of potions. You will need a lot of potions in this game, and that's the truth. There's just a lot to it, so you gotta, like, I'm going to just kind of run here for a second and get these guys out of here because there's just too many of them to fight. We'll try to fight maybe another one. See, some of them you can just murk. And there's a hand axe. He's got bow and arrow. He didn't drop the arrow. But again, you're gonna have, like, that does 9 to 16. It's a hand axe. It's got average speed versus slow speed. So if you wanted to, like, equip the axe, I'm gonna do one less damage, but it's a faster speed on that. So that's kind of nice. So you're going to get average speed versus, like, a slower speed. And so that's not a bad trade-off. And but there is some things they don't tell you about the game. The first thing you got to fight is a Satyr Shaman, and the problem with that is, and this is the truth of it, one of the things I don't like is you basically kind of got to kill, like, everything in the surrounding area before you can take it on, because it will regenerate its health a lot, but if you kill everything first, it's not that, it's actually, for whatever reason, it kind of fixes that problem, and you can actually murk it. Range combat is probably the best thing you can do, but you're going to want to gain a level or so first and give yourself definitely some hit points right off the bat, and you're gonna definitely want to do that. And I've got these bows. Then what's cool is I can take this bow. That does 6 to 17, but I can take this bow, for example, and equip it to my secondary function. And then I can, like, go to range weapons, which is pretty cool. So let's switch to that, and I can switch back and forth. And I love that, because, that Vikings does that. And I love that. And that's another one of the action RPGs I have is Vikings, Wolves of Asgard. And it's nice having a ranged weapon that you can use to attack creatures, and it's very useful, to back away and fight stuff, or just go back to hand. So I do like that aspect. Although personally, I didn't, I don't know if I'm going to plan on doing that. But you can also do, like, other things. For example, you can eventually get the dual wield skill and dual wield weapons, which will be fun to use. These torches do some damage, and they're all sellable. You can go back, see how I kind of froze there for just a second when I was picking up an item, and that kind of sucks that you actually will freeze like that. And I think it's just an old game glitch from when the game came out in '06. They just never probably patched it or fixed it. Which back then there wasn't a whole lot of there was updating, but not like it is now. There's a lot has changed. So I leveled up. So I want to show you that real quick. So I'm going to get over here. So when I go to level up, this is where you have to give your attributes. And again, I recommend increase your health points. And you've got, boom, because that put me to 340, and then let's say I want to get my strength up since I'm playing a warrior, and there you go. And you get 2 points, and that's what I got. So, and certain weapons and stuff like games like this have requirements, so you're gonna want to deal with that. Um, and that's basically what's going on there. So now you go to your skills. Now this is the window that for some reason it wouldn't let me get to, for some reason. You got your dream. This is like your spells. You got a rogue class, hunting class, nature. That's your spells. You got your defense. Specializes in surviving battles, but offers little in the way of offensive enhancements. Storm. This is where you get into like, where you become a mage. Like you got your warfare. That's your warrior. So different things give you like different abilities. So. And that, if you go defense, you get, using a shield is your best aspect. If you go to warfare, for example, it tells you a little bit about the skills. And so if I want to add some points, I got 3 unused. This is basically weapon training, years of training. So if I go boom here, now I can use weapon training, I can get battle rage, or I can use onslaught. When you use your default weapon attack, onslaught charges up as you hit enemies, crashing, causing increased damage for up to twice the original damage bonus. And that's kind of a nice little skill to have. So I like that. But we'll go down and give it to weapon training, so I get better offensive affinity and better attack speed. And I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to give, I'm going to actually, let's see here. I'm going to give them another point to it. So no more skill points. It's kind of weird because, again, I don't know if there's a way if I can go back to the other skills or not. Like, it doesn't look like that I can. Like, I can't go back to wherever the previous, not what I wanted to do. It doesn't look like I can go back to. I close it off, but it looks like it stays on warfare. So I guess once you pick whatever you want to use, you're stuck on that screen, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You'd think you'd be able to go back, and none of the buttons take you back. So that's kind of weird. I don't know. That's weird that none of that actually takes you back. So I guess that's what you're stuck with. But anyway, Titanquest is what it is, and if you're not a fan of the genre, then you probably won't like it. I mean, and I love action RPGs. Another one that I've got is even though it's kind of got that old school Baldur's Gate is what's it called? I got it last year because it was on sale. Not Pillars of Eternity, but and I mean, I have the Wasteland, which I love, but which has a lot of action RPG elements, but with more of a strategic action RPG. I can't think of the name of it for the life of me. Oh, Swords of the Coast or whatever. And I really enjoy playing that game. So I'm gonna have to fight this boss or whatever the hell. And usually I use my arrows to deal with these guys. They're kind of running away here, so. Hit him with my arrows. And yes, you can hold down the button and continuously fire arrows, but you gotta be in range until you see the guys there. So we'll try to deal with these guys. And believe me, I had a hell of a time fighting this shaman. I actually had to look up and see what was going on here. And again, the controls, sometimes I just froze for a split second. I don't know why it does that, but it does that. There's your shrine. You're supposed to fight the shaman. It's the first basic boss that you fight. Which is what you're doing here. You gotta fight him. If I can actually see, I'm literally frozen. Even though for some reason you will just stop moving for no reason. It's really weird. You just stop moving for whatever reason. It's really strange. I don't know why that he does that. Like, as you see, I literally couldn't move my character. It's a little glitch in the game, so I hope that the people who publish this game will fix the game. Titan Quest is it's still fun though, regardless of it. It is a little annoying when that happens and you just character just freezes randomly. So, and I don't like that, but it's something I think can be fleshed out or fixed in a patch. I just picked up all this stuff. So, Band of Endurance. Unfortunately, my again, my inventory's full, so I kind of gotta go. See, I just froze again. Like it just randomly, I can't move my character all of a sudden. Now I can move it. It's just that it happens. It's really weird. It's doing it again. It's just a little weird glitch in the game. So, let's see here. Go over here. I've got too many torches. The stuff won't disappear though. I can go back and sell it and come back here and then it'll be just fine. I can actually do that if I want to. Nothing wrong with that. If I want to do that, I can do that. Some of the stuff I can wear. Yeah, because it's a better thing there. And then I've got, can't wear that yet because I gotta have uh, level 3 to wear it. Of course, there's requirements for anything else. And this is what Titan Quest is all about. Titan Quest is your basic action RPG that is very old school. It came out in '06 on the PC. It was remastered as an anniversary edition in 2016 for the PC. And then it turned into, and now they've got, they've got, they've got it on here. So if I want to, like, I ain't got the portal thing just yet. So what I'm going to do is leave this stuff here, and I'm going to come back for it when I have the when I can. I'm going to go back to town, sell all this stuff, and come back here because that stuff will be there. It doesn't disappear. That's another nice thing about the game. So if you run out of inventory space, yeah, you might have to trek a little bit, but at least you can come back and you can get all the stuff that you lost or wasn't able to pick up. And I'm hoping that the game does allow you to increase your inventory. The game sells currently for $29.99, and you do get the expansion. The expansion that was put on the PC, but they made it part of the main story. It's seamless. It goes right into the expansion. At some point, I've already read that online. That glitch is still there with him just standing there. But so you do get the base game and the expansion, so that's nice to see. So I'm gonna sell this stuff, get rid of this stuff here. There we go. Get rid of that, and that. I'm gonna sort the items. So now I've got that going on with some gold. Go back into my character, and again, I don't think I'm gonna use the bow. I just was using it there for briefly to show you what you can do with it. I'd like to get a sword, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that. There's your basic staffs and different things you can use because you can build a wizard character. There's your basic defenses and stuff. If you want to buy stuff for your character, you can do that as well. So I'm gonna buy these leggings, which will help, and I can buy potions and stuff here if I need a couple more potions. So that's maxed out, or actually I'm out of gold essentially. So I'm going to equip that real quick. Oh, they're already equipped. That I need to be level 3. I'm going to go ahead and sell that and get some gold back on those, so that'd be good. And I'm going to sell that for right now and just clear out my inventory. But that's your basic thing. I even got a shield now, which is nice, so I can defend. It's a passive thing if you have a shield, so that's kind of nice. Again, this has been episode 84. I'm just showing you all a little bit about Titan Quest, published by THQ Nordic. Sells for $29.99 at your local GameStop and on the PSN network. You do get the expansion with it if you like Diablo-style loot action RPGs, even though this one came out in '06, so it's very old, and it does have some bugs and some minor things here and there, but it's not enough to distract from the game. I think you really will enjoy the game. What I've played of it so far, I do like the fact it's centered around Greek mythos, but you don't just stay in Greece. I haven't gotten there because I just got the game just yesterday. I read on where you actually go and deal with into China, and you go to like Egypt and you deal with their mythoses, and I think that's a really cool thing. So there's going to have a lot of variation on the themes there. So if you like if you like action RPGs and you like Diablo style loot games, and this comes with the expansion, you can't go wrong. You're going to get 60 to 80 hours of gameplay in this. Um, Bugs aside, it's got a pretty decent interface. It's pretty easy to use, and is a lot of fun to play. But only only if you're into these type of games, and I love them. I literally own basically all of them on the current PS4. Um, and that's something that I just love those games. I get so much out of them because of the different gameplay styles and different things that you can do in it, and definitely would recommend it, especially at its price point. It's the same thing I in my video when I talked about Victor Van, I talked about Van Helsing, was the fact that those games were $20 and worth every penny because it had so much gameplay and so much stuff that you can do in it, and it's totally worth the price of admission. I'm just going to grab this stuff, sell the stuff, and get some more gold for it. Well, this has been episode 84 of the Gaming Roundtable. I hope you enjoyed this gameplay and telling you a little bit about Titanquest. And I really appreciate you joining and listening in. This is just showing you a little bit of gameplay and a little bit of thing about the game. And so I want to appreciate my subscribers. Thank you for tuning in. Please, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please tell your friends about it. Please subscribe. And thank you for pulling a seat up at the Gaming Roundtable. This is Juiceman3941 signing off on this episode of Season 3 of the Gaming Roundtable. And as always, gamers, good gaming.